totally healthy. Before Team USA training camp, Sue Bird said that about Caitlin Clark. Not 90%, not 100%. When Sue Bird speaks, you pay attention to her because the subsequent occurrences proved that she wasn't making up a story about her comeback. She was warning everyone about the Storm's impending return. Following the most difficult time in her life, Clark went to the gym. 13 games.
Permit me to restate that.
13 games over the course of a WNBA season. Left quadriceps, left ankle, right groin, and left groin. The format of the injury report is similar to that of a medical textbook. For a rookie who broke 62 records, sitting on that bench and watching other guys play was like torment in slow motion. However, this is where things start to get interesting. There were rumors that Clark was undergoing private rehabilitation, concentrating on her game when no one was around, and working hard during physical therapy sessions. Will she be able to get over this? Will she ever be the same? When the league found her out, did her body just give out? The press conference that took place before camp started, however, was different. Clark sat down, looked straight into those cameras, and said the words that everyone had to hear.
Tests.
I'm feeling great. Just the facts without any uncertainty or hesitation. She did, however, add something that made every reporter stoop forward. I need to shake off some rust and regain my conditioning. That is what we call honesty. That is referred to as being truthful about where you are and knowing exactly where you are going. And let me tell you, that degree of self-awareness is what distinguishes champions from pretenders. The media was curious as to whether this was merely audacious bluster. After everything she had been through, could she really be back? One of them asked her about her worry. And the moment you begin to question your skills, Clark's answer was pure gold. She claimed to have touched the basketball during warm-ups before practice had started. She didn't feel comfortable when the cameras were rolling or during a pivotal moment. As soon as the ball hit her palms, muscle memory took over and everything came back to life. She said that since the beginning of the season, she had been working nonstop. After all the healing and rehabilitation, she went back to her former state and kept pushing. This was more than just going back. It was clear from her eyes that this was about getting better again. Everyone fell in love with that fire during her first year, and it persisted. It was just about to catch fire again. Clark talked candidly about the lessons her injuries taught her. It's isolating, she remarked. She learned what happens to her teammates when they get injuries. She learned how to be a better supporter from the bench. Overall, though, she found something that should frighten every opponent in the league. She stated that it would have took 10 straight awful games for her to be playing because she loves competing with her teammates so much. Review that quotation. 10 awful games to play. During their recuperation, that person maintained their passion. When they came back, their appetite had increased. At this point, the story shifts from being good to legendary. Let's now discuss what happened on the court. When Clark entered the court for scrimmages, everyone fell silent. Coaches are watching every move and teammates are watching every action. The pressure was unbearable. Would she seem like the same athlete, or would the months-long injuries show up in ways that conditioning can't fix? At first, she was cautious. Just a few safe passes and good defense. Nothing particularly noteworthy. People started to wonder if the return would go as well as everyone had anticipated.
There was a hint of doubt about that, Jim.
Then something happened that will recur for years to come. Clark picked up a pass at half court. 2 dribbles. After that, she went away from the logo, the exact spot where she gained notoriety. The same mechanics were used without hesitation to break 62 records. The ball left her hands with that perfect rotation that everyone recognizes right away.
Swish.
Only the internet. The gym collapsed. The athletes jumped off the benches.
Coaches started cheering.
The thought of Clark's shot hitting the bottom of the net was so familiar that it sent shivers down everyone's spine. And at that one moment, months of doubt and worry just disappeared. 1 shot only. That's 0. 1 probability was all that was needed to inform the basketball community of Caitlin Clark's return. She was ready to take control again. Subbard watched from the sidelines with a knowing smile. She nodded as though she had seen exactly what she had expected, because legends recognize legends. Bird saw someone who had never lost it in the first place. But Clark didn't stop there. She located teammates in strategic locations by using laser passes. The third logo comes next. She seemed to have sharper court vision than previously. Like a player who never missed a game, she blocked passing lanes and anticipated defense moves. The surge she described is no longer present, completely absent. The general pace of the practice changed. Clark had a wonderful zeal. The players were moving faster. Passes grew more accurate, and defense became more aggressive. She was no longer only participating. She was in command. That charge up the floor, that control, that pure shooting form, everything was back. Additionally, it might have been even better than previously. Despite missing a few shots during the workouts, she muttered to herself and kept pushing. She was still fiercely competitive, which made her a must-watch on TV during her first season. She also reconnected with Cameron Brink at camp. They've been acquainted for almost 9 years since their use 16 days ago. The chemistry amongst teammates is still quite strong. Everyone considers the third logo to be the turning point. They have the cerebral capacity to reign in a way that no news statement could, in addition to being physically sound. Her return to the basketball world was announced by The Shot. Team USA found its leader for 2026 and beyond at that moment. At this point, things start to get really interesting. Sue Bird and head coach Cheryl regathered together after practice, grinning widely. They had a passionate discussion about a player who went above and beyond. Maintaining championship standards while building a new USA identity around younger players is challenging. They needed someone special to build their vision for 2026 Berlin and 2028 Los Angeles. At camp, veterans like Chelsea Gray were competing furiously for starting spots. Established stars were expected to play prominent roles. Therefore, when it was decided to start Clark immediately, everyone in the basketball world was shocked. Many questioned if she deserved such instant accolades after missing the most of her sophomore season, but the coaching staff had seen enough to know better. Sue Bird publicly discussed Clark's leadership skills during camp. She praised Clark's commitment and interactions with teammates during her injury-plagued season. Despite being disabled, Clark continued to play on the bench and attended almost every Fever Road game. That's what leadership is all about. That's what happens when someone truly cares more about the team than their individual stats. Bird said that because Clark had gone through similar struggles herself, she was mindful of the challenges her coworkers faced. When you have that level of empathy, you become a better leader. Coach Reeves' assessment focused mostly on Clark's basketball intelligence and his ability to blend in with other players. She saw Clark working with Jackie Young and other backcourt partners during scrimmages. Her ability to motivate teammates astonished everyone. She looked good on both ends and hadn't missed a beat. The coaching staff was delighted with Clark's work ethic during her rehabilitation long before she touched a basketball during camp. Insiders claimed that she kept in touch. She assisted wounded teammates. She would text them to check on them after they took care of their own health issues. Her character was clear even in the most difficult periods of her career. The coaching staff observed how Clark enhanced everyone around her. Her court vision created opportunities. The pace was accelerated by her degree of defensiveness. The players responded to her excitement in ways that are hard to teach or duplicate. The impact was visible to anyone who paid attention. Being able to represent her country once more thrilled Clark. Playing for your country is the highest honor you can have. Every scrimmage and drill showed appreciation. She asserted that she understood the significance of donning the USA jersey. The announcement for Team USA was then made. Clark would play point guard at first. The starting lineup consists of Caitlin Clark at point guard, Jackie Young at 2, Brianna Stewart at 3, Nafi Sackler at 4, and A. Wilson at 5. Angel Reese, Satusa Bailey, Alia Boston, Kelsey Plum, Paige Beckers, Sabrina Ionescu, and Kala Copper are all coming off the bench. That decision totally justified Clark's comeback and made her the face of the program's future. Here, filling a roster spot wasn't the primary objective for the next Olympic cycle. USA Basketball was relying on Clark's vision and leadership to increase their prospects of winning a championship. Sue Bird and the coaching staff's vocal support sent a powerful message to the basketball community. Caitlin Clark was ready to lead Team USA to gold after her injury healed. Clark's tasteful and understated celebration of her first job contrasted sharply with Angel Reese's response. She joined the group. That's good news, I assume. She ended up in a bench role, though, which didn't sit well with someone who immediately seemed to demand star treatment. Rumor had it that Ree wasn't happy with her playing time and position description. According to reports, she expressed extreme dissatisfaction with her bench role. Coaches had to cope with the unpleasant dynamic that the problem created inside the team, according to sources close to the team, because drama interfering with training for an international competition is the last thing you want. Reese's response became increasingly vocal as camp progressed. She objected to Clark's return narrative taking front stage. The timing couldn't have been worse. While Clark focused on team spirit and leadership, Reese seemed more worried, with personal worries over her roster spot. It became impossible to ignore how these two players differed from one another. Clark demonstrated caring leadership and a team-first mentality in every interaction. She talked about the need of compromising and putting the interests of the team ahead of personal preferences. Ree appeared to be more concerned with his own complaints than the team's accomplishments. Colleagues immediately noticed the improvement. Clark committed her time to making everyone around her better during her workouts. She persisted in focusing on raising the team's overall performance. Ray seemed to be concentrating on her situation and position within the group. The difference became rather noticeable. Social media activity and behind-the-scenes reports formed a picture of someone who felt entitled to a starting berth despite not earning it via camp performance. Ree expected to be given special treatment during review times because of her reputation rather than her performance on the court. The coaching staff's patience with Reese's attitude seemed to run out as worries continued. This serves as a reality check. Nobody likes to say it out loud. Angel Reese is fortunate to be on this team in the first place. She might be helpful as a rebounder and defender. Be understood.